Welcome back, guys. It's season 3, episode 39 of the SurgeCast, and we're playoff bound, baby. Of course, I'm hosting tonight. It's Kat here, along with.
I'm Zach.
And I'm back. Hey guys.
Wait a minute.
Who's that voice?
We haven't heard this voice in a hot minute. Hello.
Zach's over here sounding like a TikTok song. Wait a minute.
Who are you? But yeah, I'm Baileyycurtis. Hello guys. I'm back. I don't know if it's indefinitely or permanently. We will figure that out together, but hello. So
my goodness, the trio is back. Maybe at least for one night only. But
hey,
you know what?
if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen while we're talking about frickin' playoffs, which we're back, baby. Let's take a moment to appreciate how freaking great that arena is gonna be here on Sunday. Yeah, that's nuts to think.
No. Saturday.
Is it Saturday? Oh, that's right.
Saturday at 5 o'clock. If nobody else has heard besides me.
it's on Valley Sports.
That's right,
because it's on TBS. It's on
millions of places to watch it, guys.
So Bailey was just giving an example of why she hasn't been with us. She's had a lot of things going on, but the fact that she doesn't even know when playoffs is, don't worry.
I knew it was at 3 o'clock. I knew it was at 3 o'clock my time. So give me that at least.
Kat, let's be honest. She's been too worried about being a Colorado Avalanche season ticket holder. We all knew.
No, we're not going to talk about my experience as a Colorado Avalanche fan right now. That's not for this podcast. That's a whole other thing.
Welcome to the epitome of suck some more.
When Bailey wakes up and is like, I choose no defense today. She watches the Colorado Avalanche.
At least the Colorado Avalanche in ended the season form, because this is not the normal we're used to seeing, but we're not going to talk about it.
I think there was a 7-0 game in November, so are we calling that end of the season too? Or
when your whole defense relies on Devin Tays and Kel McCarr and then a bag of pucks and traffic cones.
No, see, the Avalanche started to fall apart when Nathan MacKinnon was robbed of a point at home and his point streak was ruined. I am convinced. But yeah, MacKinnon for heart. Anyway.
I mean, at least it wasn't. At least the season wasn't ruined by a sponsor on a jersey. I mean, that's just take the trash out.
Oof, does.
But anyway, so of course we're coming to you guys with Bailey, of course, to talk about. We've got a couple of things to talk about how our predictions panned out. Start of the season, we all talked about, how are we going to finish the season? And none of us were completely accurate. I do feel justified in a couple of things. We also have to talk about the Stanley Cup playoff matchups now that we pretty much are guaranteed. We pretty much know everything. We have a few people in the West still deciding if they want to stay in the third spot or if they want to stay a wild card. We'll see.
The West taking forever per usual.
I mean,
they're a whole other time zone away or something. But
right.
At least they're not the Eastern Conference where it's like, no, you take the wild card 2 spot. No, you take the wild card.
I mean, technically, if we're talking about time zones, you guys are technically living in the future. So you let me know how that turns out. So
in the future, someone finally decided to take that last wild card spot in the Metro. That's what's happened here.
I would love to know who, but I digress.
So, of course, we'll talk a couple of things with the guys. We've got a couple of positives and negatives going on with the team right now. And then, of course, we've got our big matchup with the Islanders. Welcome back, the two biggest defensive teams on the Metro. And then I do want to talk a little bit about our sad one of our friends to the West that is now they have played their last home game branded as the Coyotes.
We're going to talk about how to not run a franchise, people.
I just gotta get it off my chest. But anyway, let's start because I want to get into it. Let's talk about how our predictions panned out for how the season is going to be ending. Bailey's going to be, we've got the YouTube coming out. You're going to see that soon, and you're going to see the slide here of our predictions.
Do I get
So,
Do we have to talk about this? Like,
We do need to talk about this. So we all, of course, predicted the Canes would finish first.
I mean,
I'm not saying we were far off. They weren't far off.
No,
I think
Kat, you have the best prediction here. So.
A few of their slumps there for the Canes, of course, bumped us down, and then the Rangers had a hot streak, and the Islanders could not, for the love of, it was their one job to beat them that day, to let us go into first place, but it's fine.
Let's talk about this red team right here too, and how wrong we were about that. Zach.
Hey, you know what? Thank you, Ottawa, for not doing your job and just beating them. No, you lose 4-0 to let them clinch.
We're not gonna go after Ottawa right now because the Islanders were winning. The Islanders were beating them like 2-0 and lost that. So anyway, I digress. The overtime team that we're about to face. We'll talk
so
about
many
later.
things.
So who did you guys have coming in second place?
I mean, hey, you can't talk too much because you had them coming in third.
No, I'm gonna get to it. Who do you guys have coming in second place, Zach? Why are we putting off saying it?
I mean, it's New Jersey Devils, but to be fair, gosh, I miss doing that.
To be fair, they had an undefeated preseason. So,
but the thing was, you look at how they finished last year. They're Basin was bringing everyone back. You've
got a hot Jack Hughes who was maybe,
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, the thing is, like, okay, your only question mark was your goaltending. Obviously, it did absolutely jack nothing all season, and then you go get a Sharks goalie, which. That's gonna help. Said no one ever. But
no, we can't. Listen, they tried, okay? Because people also said, that's gonna help with Spencer Martin, and it did. So,
well, I'll give Kakin a lot of credit. He tried his best on a team that gave up 100 and is a goal differential of 146, I believe, but still somehow scored more goals than the Blackhawks did. But that's a whole different thing of itself. It's just. Yeah, the Devils didn't really do much for us, unfortunately. That was a big surprise.
Yeah. And I'm not saying I was that far off because I do have them at third, but I will. I wish I had the audio.
This is her tooting her own horn
because I had the Rangers in second place, and you guys told me, how dare I have them finishing that hard? I think if I go back to the tweet about this graphic as well, people were also ragging on me for putting the Rangers up that high. Who just won the President's Trophy? Who
At least I didn't put them fourth.
That was the spicy take just to have fun with it. Because I thought, why not be a little spicy? Be like, it's the Rangers. They'll come back to earth.
Oh God, no!
So,
they're the Rangers, of course.
So
they go. When you say that, they go and win the President's Trophy.
You know what's funny though? At least, I did better than both of you, particularly the Islanders, because they did finish third. So thank you, Islanders, for at least finishing in your position, but not helping us get the division. But you know what?
He's Sidney Crosby.
I mean, mine's just one under because of the Devils, but the poor Pittsburgh, they.
Hey, Kat, me and you got them both in the same position, number 5. Have fun with that.
We let them all down.
All right,
Zach, who's under Pittsburgh for you?
I mean, it's the Columbus Blue Jackets.
So we're just gonna go ahead and start. None of us had the rest of it right, all right? Because none of these teams wanted the third spot or any of the wild cards.
Okay,
none of them wanted it.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. We all thought the Capitals, they were that far down at one point in the season. Like, we all thought they weren't.
They were that far down. They were that far down.
Somehow,
the Capitals,
Alex
with their goal
Ovechkin,
differential, should not be in this. It makes
minus 37. No,
it should not be in it.
No, and it's to the point where even their fans are like, "How the hell are we here?"
Between that and the Islanders with all their overtime wins, like, what is the Metro? What is happening?
Let's be fair, and Capitals fans are probably going to agree with this. They are going to get swept. It's going to be ugly because it's an absolute joke. They should not be in. I'm sorry. You cannot tell me a team with a goal differential that bad riding the back of Ovechkin. Ovechkin at one point had like 12 goals Before
But
we
Zach,
start
now
playing.
you're gonna jinx it. Now you're gonna jinx it.
I did.
Hey, you know what though?
I did see. I
Fine,
think
beat the
it was.
Rangers. That's fine.
I
Beat the
don't remember who
Rangers.
said
Thank
it on
you.
Twitter. I don't remember who said it on Twitter, but I do want to see. Someone said, "Show me the length of the ice that Ovechkin has skated this season," and they were like, "I have a theory, and I want to see it." And I'm like, honestly, me too, because I don't think I feel like he hasn't skated the length of the ice that often. Like, I think he stays in like this one little area. Honestly, the neutral zone is about the distance I think that man has skated this season.
His heat map.
Did you ever get the stat?
No, I haven't looked it up, but I
Let
want
me
to.
see
It
if
looks
Edge has it.
hilarious.
Hold on.
His
But
heat
in
map
the
is a
meantime,
joke.
while Bailey
It's
looks
so
that
bad.
up,
His heat map
again,
is so bad.
all of the bottom. So, I had Pittsburgh at 5th, and then I had the Capitals, and then I had the Flyers. Which the Flyers for a while were surprising everybody, and then they decided they didn't want to do that anymore. I will say my other thing that I feel very justified on is I had the Blue Jackets at the bottom. Okay. And some people gave me a really hard time about that when I said it. They said, really? To the point where one of them put them above the Flyers and the Capitals. The other one just bumped them above the Flyers. But they gave me a lot of crap about putting the Blue Jackets last. And I said, no, that's going to happen. It's going to be
talk
last
about
place.
this.
Wow, Alex.
How much? I'm trying to read it.
Okay, yeah. So for anyone,
we should read out loud for our listeners.
Yeah, for the audio side at least. Yeah, so basically it's a graphic of Alex Ovechkin in terms of his percentiles of total. I guess just what average miles or
miles. Average. Yep. So he skated a total of 225 miles this season.
76 percentile, average per 60, 8.9, which is below 50th in the percentile. Top game 3.5, 56 percentile. Top period 1.42 for 66 percentile.
Okay, Bailey.
Yikes.
Bailey, as a comparison, show me what Jordan Staal did.
Oh,
or Burns. Show me what Burns skated.
Let's see.
I would just say shoot, give him Seth. Well, I can't compare him to Seth Jarvis because he's got like.
That's what I said. I picked.
Wait, who are we picking?
Jordan Staal.
Jordan Staal.
Oh gosh, his percentiles has got to be huge.
Let's see, Jordan Staal.
Well, because so the Rangers, I just did it out of just because we wanted to keep it spicy and not make it so predictable. But that was. But the thing with the Jackets, though, that you look at how their offseason was, you'd think, okay, they played decently last year. You thought they probably were building, and unfortunately, went a lot worse than they thought.
Reasonings you gave me when you placed them where you did, and I still disagree.
Oh, okay.
So it's not that much better.
No. So for Jordan Staal, 199.30 miles, 56 percentile, average 9.71.
But we're also talking about a guy who plays a very neutral.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I would say Jordan Martinook at least or something would probably have a better comparison.
but yeah, that's
either way.
You should have stats for how much Martinook's down on the ice because every time I see him, I'm like somehow. And I know it's normally when he's going to check for the puck. It always cracks me up because I'm like, oh, he's down again.
Yep.
Come on, Marty. I know it's just because he's going so hard for the puck, but it just cracks me up.
Yeah, but yeah, our predictions though.
I just want to say I'm sorry to Sam for the Flyers.
You know what? No,
I'm sorry.
I'm not sorry about it. I said what I said.
The way they ended.
The way they ended is not knowing. There was a little bit of confusion there at the end for Torts. Did we not know what the race looked like there, buddy?
Or for anyone
pulling the goalie?
For anyone that wasn't aware of the craziness that everyone should know now, but of the craziness that happened the other night, is you're trying to figure out who is the last wild card, and it's between Detroit, Philadelphia by a thread.
Washington,
the Capitals, and Pittsburgh. So the Capitals were in if they won it any means. They won, and they were in. The Flyers needed Detroit to lose. They needed to win, and they needed Detroit to lose in regulation. Detroit needed to win and also needed the Capitals to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And Pittsburgh needed everyone to lose. Which for a while, it seemed great because, well, the Philadelphia was winning 1-0 for a while. And then and then they were at least tied. And then you had Detroit was trailing, and they had another giant comeback against the Habs.
That's like what their fourth comeback in the last like 5 games. Oh my goodness!
I know. I felt for them. That was great. Like those comebacks. I, as a Canes fan that's experienced that, they're great.
Yeah, Lucas Raymond's getting like 2 goals a night. He basically just willing that team into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Whoa,
and then so they come back and it was like I think like 0.3 seconds or 3 seconds left.
It was 3 seconds. It was 3 seconds left. They tied it to force overtime.
They tie it to go to overtime, which is great for Detroit. Still great for Detroit. It's honestly not bad for anyone at the moment. And then it's 1-1 for the Caps and the Flyers. And Torts, the agent of chaos he is apparently, decides to pull the goalie with what, like it was like 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes left on the clock.
I think it was like 3 or 4 minutes. But yeah, the fact because he thought
it was more. It was a tied game. They had to win it in regulation. I understand it.
Say, if chaos were coined to any other team for one man's actions alone, it belongs to Torts. Holy moly. Like that man in the press room,
my
chaos.
Thing is
that
though,
man behind the bench.
That
oh my god.
My thing is though, in like literal seconds of each other, Detroit keeps their hopes alive by scoring and forcing it to overtime. Literal seconds later, Torts pulls the goalie on a tied game, and the Capitals score on empty netter.
The thing was that like he thought that they were still in it, but someone should have told him, "Hey, Detroit tied it. You're eliminated."
They said they didn't know until they pulled the goalie, and I'm like, I'm sorry. As a fan, I would have been sitting there on my phone watching updates. Was nobody on the bench doing that?
Well, the thing is, like
nobody.
Like one of your assistant coaches has an earpiece. Radio the assistant coach. Don't pull the goalie. Detroit tied it. Detroit tied it. It's over. We're eliminated.
So that's
like
that's
pretty much Torts again. Agent of chaos. He messed up. He messed it up for Pittsburgh. He messed it up for Detroit, and just they kind of escaped.
Again, I say R.I.P. Sidney Crosby.
Oh, and somehow it's the Capitals again.
Tried to pull that team across the finish line on his back.
He deserved it too.
It would have been fun to see that. I haven't seen them in playoffs in a little bit.
Because think about how much gas that man has left.
This will be the second straight playoff that the Pittsburgh Penguins have not been in since.
How much gas? If Oven Chicken can make this one more time, I think Crosby can.
But that's what I'm saying though is
Washington
how do you know?
You know what the bad thing too is if you look at their goal differential, Washington's a -37. Guess what Pittsburgh is? +5. A +5 scoring team did not get in, and a -37 team did.
I was Pittsburgh, and I was looking at just looking at how I'm on the outside looking in, and I'm standing outside looking in this window, and I'd be so mad if I saw the Capitals and I saw the Islanders and be like, how did either one of you crapheads get in here over me?
I can tell you specifically why. When your power play goes 0 for 32 in a month, when you play dog crap power plays, and people complaining about the Hurricanes power play.
Bro, at that point, why don't you just make it decline it? At that point, make it so declining.
And the thing is, and you're talking about,
because if it's not helping, why?
And you have Crosby on that power play.
No. Here's the thing. At the time, you had Jake Gensel, Sidney Crosby, Chris Letang, Evgeny Malkin, and Erik Karlsson.
How's Erik Karlsson doing now? Huh?
Who runs our power play again?
Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels. I'm feeling Jeff Daniels probably feels real justified right now.
Mans is waiting for his apology.
Listen, you man. Listen.
Mans is just sitting with his arms crossed.
I could see him walking into a room full of people, slamming that door open, and just holding up his phone to that stat and showing it to them. And being like, not even saying a word, and then walking out.
No,
Jeff, if you want to come on the podcast, we'll give you your formal apology in writing.
Well, we will give you your flowers. It's basically like the Michael Scott meme where he slams the table and goes, "Thank you," because the fact that you have the second best power play on top of the best penalty kill unit in the league. The Hurricanes are the only team to have a top 2 in both stats, in both categories. And we're talking about a penalty kill unit that was in the 20-ish range of the entire league in November? Like, we were horrible on the penalty kill. Then all of a sudden, first place.
I got to witness one of those games in person. Don't remind me.
I mean, hey, hey, Avalanche fan. I don't hear you want to complain about anything about that game.
So anyway, this was our Metro prediction. Of course, it was very different. So of course we have the Rangers finishing first, then us, then the Islanders and Capitals by somehow. Then you get the Penguins, the Flyers, the Devils, and the Jackets. The Devils probably took the hardest fall from grace.
100%. Flyers.
The Penguins kind of stayed around where I thought they would be.
I had a little more hope for them, but
the Flyers surprised basically everyone. The Capitals surprised everybody.
The Flyers in the end did not fly.
If the Devils didn't fall where they did, the end of mine would have been correct. Well, and the Capitals. If those two hadn't done what they did, the end of mine would have been correct.
The thing is, so if we're actually looking at where everyone finished, basically, Kat, I think you were, 2? You had 2 correct, right? Pittsburgh and Columbus in terms of position. I had Islanders, Penguins, and Bailey had
nothing.
Nobody.
Nothing. That's brutal.
For squat.
But for Zach, where you put the Jackets and where you put New York, I feel like I won this one.
No, Kat, you took this one.
That's fair when you try to
that is a lesson for everyone. Stick with what you think. Don't let anyone laugh or give you a hard time. Just go with your gut, man. Go with it until the end. If you get proven wrong, then you can say, "Whoops," but stick with it, and then maybe you'll be just as justified as I am right now.
Whoops! Oh goodness.
Anyway, so as we showed our Metro, and now we have to talk about, of course, the playoff picture that's going on right now. Again, we still have 2 teams in the West that still looking like they're going to stay where they are. So the playoff picture right now is that we have the matchup of Florida, where it's Florida Panthers versus Tampa Bay Lightning.
Which honestly, what's an away game for them?
Oh my gosh!
We just hope there's no hurricanes anytime soon.
No, there's one series I'm still looking forward to talking about. That's not ours.
Boston is going to be playing the Leafs.
Nope, timeout. For the fact that you lose the last 2 games of the season to not win your division. To get Toronto, I am so sorry. Tinfoil hat, you knew Boston's like, you know what? Why not? Why not? And every Toronto fan's probably like, oh no.
Now let's talk about this for a second.
Have you seen Dangle's video? Dangle's video is
are you asking me about
Are we fans of Steven Dangle here? Excuse me?
Just pure screaming. It's just screaming and maniacal laughter.
He laughed for like 6 straight minutes. He's crying, falls off off the ball that he records on. You know Drew Livingston is losing his mind watching this. Like, and the thing was, like, they lost to Ottawa on the last game of the season to not win the division, and now you give Florida the division, and then you go play Toronto. The epic levels of trolling. I'm sorry, you cannot tell me that you're like, we don't want the Atlantic. Go give us Toronto. We don't want to play Tampa Bay.
Now, while we're still talking about Toronto, is this another anomaly year for them? Do they make it past the first round?
No.
Honestly, this matchup is really funny because if you got Toronto trying to get out of the first round again, so you're trying to get that. but then you've got Boston trying to make up for last year. So either way, it's gonna be funny for whatever happens.
I'm telling you right now. I saw it was actually in Steve Eagles' video. Toronto has not beaten Boston in the playoffs since 1957. That was a decade before the moon landing and expansion in the National Hockey League. They have not beaten them since the 50s.
This is a geriatric team. Holy moly.
Since the 50s.
With geriatric history, anyway. Oh,
yeah, Toronto has not beaten Boston in the playoffs since the 50s. And I'm sorry, and you saw what all the epic meltdowns Toronto's had. They're playing the boogeyman in this round. And it's Brad Marchand is the first year as captain. There is no way he's going to let those guys lose to Toronto in the first round. Are you serious? No. It's going to go 7. It's going to be chaotic, but Wolf Maroons, as Steve says, is going to be not a fun series. I mean, Boston's licking their chops.
And whoever
we get Toronto again
plays Florida or one of the Florida
teams,
right?
It's
this is
what's really funny.
The parallels here.
What's really funny is I'm pretty sure the last game of the season for the Panthers, they played the Leafs. And they beat them. They chanted, "We want Florida" when they won.
Wait! Toronto fans said
No. Florida fans when they beat Toronto for the last.
Oh yeah, the "We Want Florida" chants broke out
and said, "We want Florida."
Oh, my.
Just to troll the hell out of them. It was great.
You know what's funny though? The fact that the last time we had a Battle of Florida, it was a sweep for Tampa Bay. I will absolutely laugh if Toronto gets the number 1 wild. When the fact that Tampa got the first wild card spot and knocks out Florida, it's Tampa Boston in round 2. That would be insane.
As long as Florida's done. I need Florida.
I've heard from a lot of people. A lot of people don't want to match up with Tampa right
now. No. Where their positioning was, it's still Tampa Bay. You're still talking about dudes who've been on a cup run. And I'm sorry, how Nikita Kucherov has been this year?
Who had back surgery at the beginning of the season? That seems like a lifetime ago.
Basically like a month or 2 before the season. A bunch of time, comes back.
Back surgery, and it still looks in prime Andre Vasilevsky form.
And we're not even talking about the fact that Nikita Kucherov literally just carried this entire team on his back.
The fact that he's going toe-to-toe with McKinnon for the Heart.
And Connor McDavid.
No, Connor McDavid, he can have all of his assists. He's not getting the Heart this year. Sorry to burst his bubble.
Watch him still do it because he hit the feet.
Because that's Connor McDavid. Oh, absolutely.
We also get 100 assists.
So I will say
fourth guy to do it.
I know. I mean, everyone's gonna. It's playoffs. Everyone's difficult. I will say we split with Tampa Bay this season. We split with them. The first win we got from them was before Svetch was back and before we had our guys from the deadline.
But it was after that god-awful game that we lost against them, wasn't it?
They were our very first game. So they were our very first game. Then we lost them. Then we won. We had a shutout against them.
In
and
Tampa.
Then we had a bad game against them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That one shot.
Getting my timeline mixed up, but that one game.
But that one game again, it's an anomaly because in between, we were going from a win against the Penguins, a win against the Oilers. We lost again. Won the Blue Jackets, won the Flyers.
When was this? When was this?
That was in November.
Oh, so that was
we haven't played them in the new year. We haven't played them in 2020.
That's right. Yeah, we had all of our games against Tampa way early on. Yeah, that's after
hockey schedulers.
And that's also after the fact you're talking about after the player only meeting when they just went absolutely super insane for the rest of the regular season. They absolutely just donkey stomped almost everyone in there.
To be a fly on the wall.
Of that players only meeting? Oh gosh.
Players only meeting.
Well, that Western Canada trip.
That lit a fire so hot under their asses.
Anyway.
All right, 29-46.
So of course, yeah. So we've got Boston versus Toronto. You've got the Rangers versus the Caps. I feel like everyone knows how that's going to go, but you never know if the Caps are going to be like Florida last year.
That's
where
why
they
I'm
just
saying
surprise
don't
everyone.
count them because yes, the goal differential's like, yeah, what the hell? But at the same
You
time,
know there's going to be fighting. That's
you know
all you're
it's going to.
guaranteed.
It's a team with Tom Wilson on it. I mean, come on.
Let's also forget Rempe and
Well,
Trouba.
but that's a different team. We're not talking about them right now.
Oh, I know.
We're
I'm
talking
just
about the
saying.
Capitals.
It's honestly, it's gonna go. It's gonna
We're
go.
talking about
seven.
Rempe's idol here.
It's probably gonna go. It's probably gonna go 7. They're gonna beat the crap out of each other, and then okay, have fun. And the Hurricanes are like, "Are you still living?" It's basically what it's gonna be like after that series because they're just gonna beat them.
so
So
we've got, and of course we've got the Islanders
again. Yay!
I think it's going to be interesting playing. We definitely playing them with a little more firepower than when we matched
what
up
happened
with
with
them
our
last.
series with them this year? Do you have that pulled up?
We were 2-1-1 against them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I like our chances. I think because when was the last time we faced them? That was before
we had one game in the new year and they actually won 4-1.
But that was before the trade deadline, no?
I believe so, yes.
So they haven't seen a team with Evgeny Kuznetsov and Jake Gensel on it.
You mean 25 points in 17 games, Jake Gensel?
No,
Absolutely.
we played them March 19th. Is that?
Oh,
so we didn't.
Yeah,
they didn't see prime because Jake Gensel was Jake.
But we still won that game. We won that game 4-1.
So that was while they were still learning the system. So they don't know our team like it is now when these players are getting by.
I think our defense can withstand the Islanders. I think they can withstand the Islanders, and I think that we now have the firepower to get through their own smothering defense is mine. But we're getting ahead of ourselves because we are going to talk about the Canes and Islanders predictions and X Factors and everything a little bit later in the episode.
Before we talk about predictions, one prediction before we go into it. Who starts in net?
Freddie Anderson.
You think they go Freddie?
100%.
I think Freddie. I think it's Freddie.
Explain.
I mean, you okay.
Because both goalies have been I forget if it was Walt who said it, but both goalies have been in a nice rotation and have played really, really well.
They have. But it's going to be Freddie because he was it 9 wins. I think it's 9-2.
I also want to make it clear here that I'm not disagreeing with you. Yeah.
I think it's going to be Freddie because of veteran experience. I think it's going to be Freddie because he's been in the starter crease the past couple practices.
And you're banking on him being a hot goaltender, like he's been.
You're banking on him still keeping
with his stats right now. With his stats being back, I mean, you're talking a sub 1.3 goals against, a 0.9394 save percentage. He's 9-2 since being back. With 3 shutouts.
Do I think if we go up like 2-0 in the series, we'll see Cooch? Maybe, because Rod loves to give his goaltenders some rest.
Who? Who?
I totally missed that.
Listen, everyone says it. It's really hard to keep, I just keep saying it because literally it's nonstop and I hear it everywhere. Anyway.
I know I said it with crap for it because it's like, wait, who are we talking about? Kucherov's on Tampa Bay. What are we doing here? But no, I think it's gonna be like, and Rod even said it too when they because they asked him, I was like, are you gonna go with a rotation? Or you can go with the one goalie system? And Rod's like, anything's possible, because Rod's not gonna say it specifically, but he's saying anything is possible. You could go with the rotation, you could ride the hot hand. It all just depends on how the series goes. So,
well, I mean, if you kind of look how it was last year, Ronta was still the main for playoffs. Ronta was still the hot hand, and then you've got PK coming in. I still think PK needs that experience, and I'm not saying like second, as in like he's not going to play. Like I'm sure we'll play him, but depending on how the series are going, he's going to get playing time for sure.
No, yeah, 100%.
I just think they're also counting like he's a very young player and he's a very emotional player. Playoffs, you really need a steady hand for a while Like take the experience there. So that's why I'm betting Freddie.
They could. It's just game one. They could run with rotation. So
they could. But the thing is, too, is riding somebody who's hot is really, really important in playoffs. We say it all the time that playoffs is a completely different beast. So if a player is performing well, you want that player to continue performing well. And we've seen how the team does on rest during most occasions. So I think the smart move here is to not ride a goalie into the ground, but ride the hot hand for as long as you can until you're in a comfortable enough point where rotation feels necessary.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. I mean,
the thing that I worry about most is, and I'm being completely hypothetical here, if we get to the point where we do see the Rangers in round 2, I am worried about what Pyotr Kochetkov looks like during that series with as emotional as he is, because the Rangers are known to play mind games with not only us, not only the team, but with the fans as well. It gets very high strung, high energy, and I worry about him losing some of his mojo during that.
You know what? How about this? Capitals beat the Rangers. So we don't have to worry about Carey fans showing up, and we're all set. We'll be completely fine.
I will say that, and I will say, even though I do say he is an emotional young guy, he has shown up in the playoffs for other emotional teams such as the Bruins. So he has shown up in those moments.
He's gotten better this year in terms of his emotions. He's gotten better this year.
I think playoffs. He does have a really good mindset. What we've seen of him in playoffs so far, he does have a really good mindset there. I just think you don't even put him in any space to get off of it, and that's why you start with Freddie. So you start with Freddie, have everyone kind of adjust into it, then give Freddie some time because you don't want to get him injured in any way, and then you give PK the moment to shine a little bit too and get him going so he's feeling how it's going to. But again, we're not Brendan Moore, and we don't know. We don't know how it's going to flow.
Yeah. But look at how Freddie did last year, too, in the playoffs. You're talking like Eastern Conference Final. Like, if it wasn't for Bobrovsky standing on his head, like, Freddie Anderson wins that entire series for the Kings. Like, his goals against and his save percentage were absolutely astronomically good. Like, he was on a Conn Smythe run for the Hurricanes. That's how good he was playing in the Eastern Conference Final and the playoffs as a whole last year. So he can do it in the playoffs. So if they go with him, I have full confidence in how he does. So to see who they go with for sure. But like I said,
I think Freddie's the safe choice here. With his stats so far, writing that into the postseason seems like a smart move to me anyway.
Yeah.
And again, it's a little like he came in a little bit later into the season, so his stats are really, really good for a limited amount of time.
Well, but the thing is it's better than really good. It's better than what we saw from him pre-injury. Like he was very shaky, very rusty, very not on top of things.
I think it was 4-1 though, so it wasn't like he was like 2-2.
There were some soft things that I saw that I was like, this is not the Freddie Anderson who won the Jennings Trophy. Let's also be fair to Antti Raanta did not have a season to remember.
Oh no,
for him as well. Yeah, poor Raanta. Which honestly, he looked. I mean, poor went out for the Chicago Wolves, who all saw that coming.
Sorry to everyone who's the Chicago Wolves.
Chicago Wolves. Maybe, but
No, but he thoroughly looked like he was enjoying his time up there.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so
I just feel bad for Rinaldi. The only person I feel bad for is Andrew Rinaldi because he had to cover that garbage fire. But yeah, you know what?
Anyway, as we get off topic, as we are tending to do, we can talk more about the Kings and Islanders a little bit later. But I did want to continue talking about. We do have to say who's matching up in the West because eventually we do have to concern ourselves with what's going on over there. As it stands right now, the Stars will be playing the Kings. Jets will be playing the Avalanche. Canucks will be playing the Predators. And the Oilers will be playing the Golden Knights. Do we have any thoughts on any of those matchups?
I could give my thoughts. You probably don't want them.
Well, I mean, wait.
Avs look like they could be a first round exit. If you don't count the game they played today, which they're currently winning 5-2, I believe, or 5-1.
Well,
Also, when we said it was still a little bit up in the air, it's because we're trying to see if the Knights or if the Kings are going to change where they are standing. But right now, they're both losing to the Ducks and the Blackhawks. So,
I mean, if you're talking Oilers, Golden Knights, I mean, Jets, Avs. What did you say? Stars, Kings, and then
Stars, Kings,
and then no.
I think the Canucks and the Predators are going to be interesting. I think that's going to be an interesting matchup.
I think there will be. Yeah, the Predators have caught hot recently too, and it depends on how the Canucks are because they've been kind of. To be honest, like there's not really a first round matchup. I'm kind of like woo about. I mean, maybe Oilers Golden Knights because you can see if Connor McDavid could do it against the defending champs, possibly. I mean,
get the Knights out. That's really all I care about.
Stars, Kings.
I see the Stars taking this with flying colors.
If the fact that you gave up all those good players to the Jets and you signed PLD for that long and he has done absolutely goodness.
Congrats to the Jets for making it because there's a former Kane on there and I'm really happy for him in the moment.
Yeah, it's good for Nino. I mean, like I said,
also good for Nino. Did you guys know? Okay, first of all, he's been out on injury. You know why he's been out on injury?
No,
he got cut with a skate blade.
So
he's been out because he got cut with a skate blade. That's scary.
God.
That is scary.
Prayers up for Nino.
We don't harm our pretty Swiss boy. Like that's not.
No, we don't need that.
I mean, he's not our pretty Swiss boy anymore, but he.
No, he still could be. Trust me. We all every Canes fan still owns him. Trust me, we're still are.
But to be honest, though, to be honest, I'm not really wowed by everyone's going to probably push Oilers Golden Knights because it's defending champs against Connor McDavid. Canucks, Preds, maybe Stars and Kings. That's not really going to be very much. I think people are going to try to talk like Jets, Avs is going to be something. I mean, let's be completely honest here. The Avalanche either win big, like you said, Kat, or they get absolutely stomped.
Yeah.
And how this season's been for them right now, I don't know how they even remotely got 49 wins. I'm sorry.
The thing for me is like
so Winnipeg has won all of their matchups this season.
And they beat them pretty good too.
4-2.
That was one of 2 7-0 games.
Yeah,
the Avalanche.
But they beat them 4-2, 6-2, and 7-0. They've just continuously gone up in their score.
It's going to be the fact that you're talking about a 5-point difference in the standings. It is going to be as of recording because that game's not over and not everything's updated. Honestly, it's going to be a Herculean effort for the Avs to get out of that first round. The way the Jets are playing right now, especially with Connor Hellebuck, and how Gabe Velarde's been, how Scheifele's been, how name everyone you can think of. Even Boissois as their backup has been really good for them.
I'm not sitting here discounting the Winnipeg Jets by any means because they're a strong team. They deserve to be where they've gotten. I think that when there's something about end of the season that kind of gets them in a rut, but when they get into playoffs, last year was a bit of an anomaly, but that was also I don't want to get into the reffing that was the Colorado-Seattle series. But I think there is a playoff type dial that they are starting to turn back on that we have not seen. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. The truth is, with the past few games that they've had, this is looking like a first round exit for the Avalanche. If they don't get their guys like McKinnon and Rantanen and Makar, who's had a great season, but not a season to remember for him. Like he needs to step that up if they have any chance of success, especially not having home ice advantage.
I mean, and also, if we're talking about a Hart Trophy, I'm sorry. If you're not giving Nikita Kucherov, I don't know what we're doing here because the fact that he literally carried Tampa into the playoffs. Nate Mack, yeah, I see he's had a great season points wise, but it's the Avalanche. Like, look where
It's
they're at.
also, you got to look at the streaks and the history that he almost broke this season with those streaks. So there's that to account for as well.
Totally understand. Connor McDavid, okay, it's Connor McDavid. He had 100 assists.
100 assists, that's impressive. I don't think it wins him the Hart this year.
No, it's the fact
that you can't just keep giving the guy awards because of who he is.
The thing with Nikita Kucherov, though, and trust me, none of us on this podcast are Tampa Bay fans or even like them in the slightest.
Lightning who?
But for the fact you see the difference between where he's at and where the second place guy is at in terms of point wise, it is such a huge gap in between both of those guys. I think David's got Draisaitl. Heck, Zach Hyman scored 50 goals for them this year. And let's not put it past it for the fact that the two other guys could win the Hart. It's just I'm sorry, it's just the way the Avs have been playing this year for a lot of the season. Yeah, they got the points, and there were some streaks that were broken or close to it. They're in a tough series, and I don't know how they're going to do against the Jets. Billy, you said they could hit a second gear. That gear should have been kicked in a long time ago because you don't get pumped like you have been over the last 3 weeks going into the playoffs. That is a tough look.
I think the most interesting matchup probably there is going to be, and I know that they're going to promote it the most probably too, the Oilers and the Golden Knights, just because also looking at their record of playing each other this season is
tough. It's tough.
Edmonton only won the first matchup in OT. Vegas won the second one 3-1, and then Edmonton won the final matchup 5-1. So it's honestly a battle of scoring, as is always with the West.
Wait, Edmonton only took one in that series?
They took two, but the first
I'm wondering how many which of those wins came from that giant win streak that they went on.
The first one they only won in OT.
I know. Well, Vegas snapped that winning streak because they were one way from tying it. Golden Knights snapped it, or no, they did tie it, and the Golden Knights snapped it. It was either before tying it or they did tie it, and they needed to they did tie it. They needed to win, and it got snapped.
So maybe it was that February 6th. Was it that February 6th? I think that might have been it then.
The thing is the fact that you look at the Golden Knights, so they're only in the third spot because the Kings decided to just fall off. And they've clawed back in, but just barely because the fact that you look at how the rest of the West was. St. Louis, they kind of dropped. Wild didn't really do a whole lot. So it's just kind of Vegas has the third spot, but it's going to be a tough series, but which Golden Knights team are you going to get? Because they didn't really have a whole lot of great games this year. I mean, look at the Hurricanes when they played the Canes. They lost 6-1.
But anyway, we could be sitting and talking about these matchups all the livelong day. I do want to point out one thing that we talked a little bit before we started, because you can literally set your clocks by this. Is as soon as they announce when playoff games are, there are going to be people complaining that home teams are restricting ticket prices. This is my 2 cents, and it might be a hot take and ice melting hot take again that I used to do those, but might be coming back with this. I don't think it is really that hot take. If you're the home team, you have earned that home. Most of them have earned home ice advantage for a good amount of it. You have earned to have your fans in there before other fans.
The thing is, too,
if you're the home team, you're not going to have, if you're a home team fan, you're not going to have a problem with that. It's the away team coming in there. But if it was reversed and it was your team doing that, which, by the way, spoiler, they all do it, you're not going to have a problem with it.
And that's what I was going to bring up, too, is the fact that people are blaming this on teams in the South and saying that they are the teams that predominantly have this cutoff. You look at teams, I think I saw the New York Yankees do it. It's everybody does it.
Everyone in sports
do it. They
do it.
want their own fans in that arena if they can help it, because they know that's going to boost the team's morale. They know that's what's going to help the team win. It's not just a FU kind of thing to other fans. Of course, we want you to enjoy the game, but at the same time, you look at markets and what, you don't want a situation like we experience in North Carolina where half of our stadium is Rangers fans when they come around.
Well, it doesn't help when they all decide to wear their season ticket member lanyards and then throw on Rangers jerseys. But that's a whole different
But that's
thing.
but that's also the thing is these tickets, they're still not impossible to get.
No.
I've already seen people plan to get these tickets in advance, and then when the schedule is set, some of them can't make it. I've already seen people selling tickets for Saturday because they have other plans. Ask your friends local in the area if they want to get it.
I know there was Nashville fans that were like, "Oh, I'm in Tennessee, but I'm not in Nashville, and I'm still restricted." Like you said, Kat, just have your friend help you get tickets and then pay them back. It's not that hard. And the fact that and Dan Lataraka said this perfectly. He quotes what he said: "You can set your watch to these tweets every playoff because Bud Light came out and tried to complain about the Hurricanes did when they played the Rangers."
We have water fountains. It's fine.
But
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, you have the Panthers did it. Tampa did it. Tampa is everyone's like, Tampa's got the blah blah blah. It's like Tampa's done it. Dallas has done it. Every team has done it. Okay,
some teams know that their ticket pricing might be cheaper than some other teams. They're aware of that.
Looking at you, Toronto.
They're aware. So they are like, yeah, it's that because of where we're located and our fans. So they know that outside other fans and from opposing teams are I could go get a ticket, travel there, get that ticket for a lot cheaper than here. And they're like, but we don't want that. We have it affordable for our home team fans, and we want them to be able to get here and experience it first.
Point blank.
That is the whole point. Is that want home fans to get that.
It is not
that experience.
I'm just so tired of this being a thing every year. These are the two things that I hate. That I wish we would just ever living stop bringing up every playoff.
Never.
It's ticket restrictions for the home games. If you are an away fan trying to go to a home game, stop bringing it up. I don't care if you are a new fan. Ask. Don't be so clutching your pearls. Stop it. And here's the second thing I'm going to bring up too. We all know reffing sucks. We know it stinks. Stop bringing it up, acting like it's like, oh, it's the ref's fault. We all know they stink. Yes, it's one of the hardest sports to ref. We all understand that. But stop using the refs as an excuse when it comes to the playoffs. Rulebook's thrown out the window.
End of story.
End of
story. It's not a crime to want to fill your own arena with fans wearing.
I will say, sorry, as we brought up the refs, this is totally different. I know it's jumping way back.
Period. Switch gears.
But that goal that the refs took away from Philadelphia in that Washington game, I would have, if I was a Philadelphia fan, I'd be burning things. Oh my gosh!
What about Nadu's goal that got called back because it was on the line?
The other goal
was called back because it was on the line.
No, this was fully different. This one they blew dead because the refs. It was up in the air. They thought the goalie got it because he reacted to it. Then it came down, bounced in. But because they blew the whistle, and everyone was like, they know they messed that up. They know they messed it up. They're going to talk to Toronto to see if there's any way they can fix it. There was no way to fix it. And honestly, those refs should have come out there and been like, we messed up. But the fact that and then ended up getting the Capitals into it, wild to me.
Yeah, that's.
I will stand by this till the day I die. Put refs on a panel so they can talk about this crap after games.
Hey, Seth Jarvis said it. Interview him.
Also, I'm all for former players if they want to ref because I also know they know the rules. But anyway,
unless it's Biz or Ryan Whitley, then probably not.
If we're talking about, a little bit of the hard times there is to get tickets for the upcoming games, there might be some place where you can get some discounted tickets.
I see what you did.
Shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring us.
That was very nice.
Recently become brand ambassadors for them. They're a ticketing app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. They give you a 0 out of 10 score on each ticket to know if you're getting a good or a bad deal. The green is good and the red is bad. And I believe there's a Sebastian Aho $20 off your first ticket purchase with the code TheSurgeCast. That sounds pretty good to me, Zach. I think any amount of money off playoff tickets or even just concert tickets, and any money off is great, especially Sebastian Aho, right?
I mean, yeah, like why would you not want to save money on your first purchase for, like you said, games, concerts, events?
Also, to
Why
clarify,
not?
we're talking about the real Sebastian Aho of the Carolina Hurricanes,
The Finnish one.
not the island.
Okay, and I've said this on 2 different shows already. I'm going to bring it back on this one as well. National media, I swear to ever living gosh, this is hitting the this isn't even low hanging. It's literally on the ground and rolling. Do not bring up the Sebastian Aho name comparison just because they got the same name. Ha ha ha. Different countries, different positions. Stop
As
it.
Chip Alexander made perfectly clear, it's
Like
the
They
Finnish one.
100% still will, Zach. I'm sorry to tell you that. But you know what's also guaranteed is that $20 off the Finnish Sebastian Aho of your first ticket purchase at SeatGeek with the code thesurgecast. Go get your tickets, guys. Especially get your home game tickets, But if you can't make it to the games and you're like, hey, that's a little bit too out of my budget, even with that discount, and you're kind of wanting to see the game and you might be going to a sports bar and you got some friends that are talking about like, you're going to put a little wager on who's going to win. I think I've got someone else for you. We know hockey games move fast, but with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, you can score faster than anything on the ice. This week, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. What about today was the last day of the regular season. You got those odds maybe coming up for the Stanley Cup playoff, Zach?
Oh, yeah. How about we do a little Islanders Hurricanes? So the money line for the game is the Hurricanes are a -225 and the Islanders are a +185. And if you look at the puck line, the Hurricanes are -115 set at +124. The Islanders are a +1.5 set at -148. And if you look at the over-under is set at 5.5. So if you go with the under 5.5 for the Hurricanes, is a -118. And if you go over 5.5 for the Islanders, it is a -102.
So we're not going to tell you how to bet. All we're going to tell you how to do it. Of course, do it responsibly. And I'm not a betting person, but I do kind of like those odds that Zach read. So, of course, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app with the code THBN. New customers bet just $5 on the NHL and get $200 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code THBN. The crown is yours. Do it responsibly, y'all.
Yes. Please do
please do it responsibly. And if you just have that itch for more hockey things and maybe you want a few things to get you through some fun little tailgates, or you've got some of your own teams practicing coming up and you need some gear, where can they go, Zach?
I mean, you just go to primalexhockey.com and, go with the sponsor who's been with us, since the very, very beginning, and that is Primal X Hockey. If you go to primalexhockey.com and at checkout use the code SurgeCast, you get another Sebastian Aho discount, this time for 20%. If you're looking for, stick blade protectors, you're looking for wheels for some blades, if you do some, inline hockey, why not? If you're also looking for sticks, skates, all the good stuff, Primal X Hockey does have that for you as well. They got scented wax, some even glow in the dark if you really want some really cool wax for your sticks. I mean, pucks, balls inside or outside. They got the sauce kit games that you can get to as well. They basically have everything you can think of: flags, koozies, hats, t-shirts. They got really great merchandise as well, and they got a skate sharpener for $5 if you're going to get your skate sharpened for like Kat said. You got beer league, you got club high school hockey. I know it's been getting really big around the Triangle as well over at Invisalign. And the good thing is they're right there in Raleigh, 1401 East Diggs Drive. 10-15 minutes from the arena, so you're helping support local. And the good thing too is they're also Hurricanes fans who are season ticket members. So you're essentially just helping other season ticket members, and you're setting yourself up to have some cool, hockey equipment or gear or whatever you have. But if you're not able to get to their warehouse, they do online shipping and it's free. So why not help support local and shop local? Like
you find yourself on the way to a playoff game and you're going to go tailgate. Man, this would be really nice if I had a cool koozie to use with this beer, seltzer, ice cold water that you're gonna have while you sit out there and tailgate with the best tailgate there is in NHL.
Yeah, why
I
not?
think you could stop by there and grab some, and maybe tell them that we sent you. What kind of discount can you get, Zach?
I mean, it all depends on what they say at the store. I know online it's 20% off if you use the code SurgeCast. In store, it all depends on the discretion of what they say, only if you tell them that we sent you. So, like I said, make sure to go check them out. PrimaxHockey.com. SurgeCast at checkout, 20% off your order. Or just tell them that we sent you when you get up to the store, and then, maybe they'll hook you up with something. But they're a great group. They've been with us since day one. This is episode 117 or 18. I don't know at this point. Time is a weird thing, but yes, big
It's
shout
gonna
out
get
to
even
Primax.
weirder because it's playoff time.
Great.
But yeah, so big thank you to Primo, DraftKings, SeatGeek, all of them for sponsoring us, especially as we rev up our engines and get more into playoff hockey. It's going to be fast, it's going to be quick, and it's going to be nonstop, y'all. But on a more, before we talk about more exciting things and talk more about the upcoming playoffs, we would be very bad hockey fans if we didn't have to talk about RIP to the Arizona Coyotes.
Pour one out for the Arizona Coyotes.
Just for the absolute fact that, like, not even the week before all this news dropped, that it's like, oh, here's some renderings. We are going to go for this land deal and blah, 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 blah. And the thing, too, is, and I feel so bad for Coyotes fans, that the fact that Alex Morello Jr. was running the social media accounts after they fired their entire social media crew is an absolute joke of just malpractice for
not just that, but you've got such an important game to fans. Them ending their season on home ice, being able to see that team go out with a bang, and the owner not even showing up.
The owner that says actions speak louder than words, and he doesn't even show up to the last home game for the team that you've been lying to and not telling them that they are relocating.
They weren't even going to know. Like, the only reason why they knew is because social media said something. And here's the thing, too. So there was going to be a watch party for fans outside the arena on a big screen that they were going to set up. Yeah, the Arizona Coyotes told him, get out of here, go somewhere else. They didn't even want them outside the building. They actually had to go like a few blocks away from the arena to do it in another parking lot. Like, they couldn't do it outside the arena. That really sounds
like a fan-centered franchise right there.
They also the jersey that was up in the
Shane Doan
Raptors.
Shane Doan's jersey retirement that was tossed in a dumpster. Nobody from the team decided to go and get it, and a fan saved it and gave it back to him. That same one.
He would be the former Locked On Coyotes co-host. Found it. So I don't think it was in a dumpster. They found it somewhere inside the building because it was going to get thrown out. Got it.
I saw a dumpster. Maybe.
Yeah, I heard
one of the two. Either. Well, it was going to go in a dumpster because they're just known to throw stuff away.
Didn't they tell him he wasn't welcome back too? I saw that. I saw someone told.
I didn't see that.
Goes, well, that's going to be kind of difficult because I need to cover the AHL team.
Yes, yeah, because he does cover the AHL team, and some people are like, "Yeah, the organization is probably going to ban you from doing that." And he goes, okay, like, that's going to be fun, but because the Morellos are still owning the Tucson Roadrunners, and supposedly they might be moving to Tempe in that arena. Why? No, stop.
The thing for me, which is crazy. I don't know if you guys, how many of you have read the statement that came after the Board of Governors meeting that came today, but there is a chance that we could see the Arizona Coyotes again in 5 years, which breaks my heart because you look at these fans. You look at these fans who have been supporting this team since they were in Phoenix. Like, this is a team that's been here for a good portion of time, a good chunk of time. They've watched this team.
1997, yeah.
They've watched this team go through hell and back through hell again. Watching this team rebuild, trying to become the team that it is today. And yeah, they may not be the best, but they've watched this team go through the things that they've gone through just for those players to get sent to Utah. Let's talk about this for a second. May not even have a name. by the time the season starts.
I mean, props to the new owner because he is planning. I mean, if it was all goes said and done, he's going to meet with them all in person.
Right.
They were
And
supposed
I'm
to
like, that's
today.
so much.
They
Yeah,
were
I was like,
supposed to
that's
today.
so much better
But the
than
thing
what the
is,
previous owner did.
they're not even guaranteed to have the land that the state-of-the-art arena is going to be on. They're not approved yet. That auction's happening in June. So
You're
but-
talking about Arizona, not Utah. You're talking about
yes,
Arizona.
yes.
Yeah,
But
Utah's already the Jazz and
Yeah.
Ryan Smith and all them. They got a 900.
It's going to be Utah. They're not going to be called the Salt Lake whatever's. It is going to
I
be
mean, it makes
Utah.
sense. I mean, Utah's a good one because it's. I mean,
It's easy.
Well, and the thing is, it's not. There's not a lot of other big cities that you really can be like, oh yeah, it's like basically Provo, Ogden, and all that are kind of like right there in that kind of clump. So,
but you look at this owner who negotiated himself a 5-year reprieve to get this team back for fans who are not going to have anything in it for the players that are currently playing on that ice.
No.
Not going to have any skin in the game other than the fact that, oh, hockey's back in Arizona, which great. Arizona could potentially, it has the potential to be a great NHL market. This management has been so terrible for this team. And the fact that they're being given a potential second chance shakes me to my core.
Well, and that's if they can actually get the land, if they can build the arena in 5 years, like that's just the window he has.
You know how long it takes to build an arena?
That's why he's got to hope that he wins that land auction, but then he's got to make sure he get 5 years. Yeah, you could maybe get it, but then the thing is, you're throwing a lot of other things. Alignments are going to be off. The thing is, you're not even getting the players that you originally had back. So now you have to go through an expansion draft, which is a whole different thing in itself.
Also, for all of the clowns that were in the comments of people saying goodbye to the Coyotes and sympathizing with their fans, and they're over here being like, "Yeah, this should have happened a long time ago. Yeah, they didn't deserve a team there." No. Hockey, first of all, nothing with this team. Nothing with this team. First of all, it's not their fault that they were given second chances because, first of all, they were mismanaged to the point where, of course, yeah, they needed the second chance. But their management has all been the issue. Like the players, it's not on the players, it's not on the people like the staff or any of that.
It is the owner.
Or the fans. The fans showed up all the time.
Hockey belongs in the desert. Do you know where Austin Matthews is from?
Matthew Nyes is also from there too.
Yes.
Josh Doan, born, raised ASU, and played for the Coyotes. So he is a true Arizonian from the jump. Stayed in the area for pretty much his entire career. And you can't talk about,
it's because of how they're performing or whatever. I'm sorry. Have you seen the Habs up in Canada? It doesn't matter. Like you can't be like, well, it's based on this. Clowning on a franchise, whether it's yours and you don't. I mean, do I have any ties to Arizona? No. Do I have any? No. But like to clown on someone else losing their home team franchise, like that is just crazy. Because think about how you would feel if that happened to your team, and you might be like, "Well, that would never happen to my team." But put yourselves in the shoes if it did. How would you feel about someone clowning on you about it when it wasn't on you? You showed up to the games. You wanted them to stay.
I mean, you look at the Jets 1.0. Like they really left for Arizona. Quebec's lost a team. They are nowhere remotely close to getting a team back. The Jets only came back because the Atlanta Thrashers ownership group absolutely crapped the bed. It's just for the fact that you can't say it's the fans. You can't say it's. And the thing is, like, there's only so much that the team can do when you have to try to get bad contracts. You're getting bad contracts that hit the cap floor, not the cap ceiling, the cap floor. And let's also not forget, too, that you were almost banned from hotels in Toronto because you weren't paying your $20,000 hotel stays. And and this is the absolute audacity of Alex Morello in this press conference, blaming Glendale. I didn't know they were going to kick me out. They offered him a 20-year lease, and he said no. And they got rid of him because he wasn't paying his tag. He wasn't paying the bills to stay there. And he turned down a 20-year lease to stay in Glendale. He's like, I didn't know.
And he
I
said,
was like, okay.
I'm sympathetic. Everything came out of his mouth. Like, I was just, first of all, actions
The
speak louder than
audacity.
words. You didn't show up to your last home game. All right. Second of all, you being like, I feel so bad for everyone that's working with Arizona. Like, I know it's so much to process. I wish I didn't have to find out this way. You kept it a secret from them. Second of all, he goes, yeah, I almost couldn't. I had to take a week to process it. A week where you could have told them so they could process it. Like, there's so many things in his statement that were just red flags. I'm like, you are literally enemy number one. You should never own a team like this again because of this mismanagement. It makes no sense.
The fact that you had your GM fly to Alberta to tell the players after they found out on social media that they're going to potentially get moved is pretty bad. And the thing is, you gave you didn't give Arizona Coyotes fans like a half a season or a season to get ready for their team to leave. You gave them one home game.
Yep.
That next week, not a full week, like 6 days, to be like, all right, here's your last home game of your team for the next at least 5 seasons. Like I said, the Winnipeg didn't get a team back for from 1996 to 2011. Like, that's a long stretch of not having hockey, and you're gonna hope and pray you get a team back in 5 years as an expansion.
You're past hopes and prayers, buddy.
No, the thing is, it's like the Junior Coyotes. They actually just won a trophy last week, and Arizona State Hockey is really good too.
That should be indication enough that this market can support hockey.
How about the Kachina women's team? The girls for the junior, the Kachinas. Mm-hmm. They literally have a bunch of players going to play in college hockey, like D1, ASHA, anything you think of. Like, Arizona is a good hockey market. It thrives. It's just bad ownership, and the fact that you're going to potentially give Alex Morello another shot. Like, if I'm Gary Bettman, I hope he doesn't get it done in 5 years and you find someone else to take care of it, because of the fact that you might have kept the branding. Yeah, you might have kept. I don't even know if they even kept you might have the franchise records and all of this. Still not the same team. You still don't have Keller's gone, Josh Doan's gone. Like, you're gonna get a whole new crop of guys, and all those draft picks you basically collected, they're now Utah's. And they're going to trade all those picks away to get some good guys, because they're going to be all in this offseason.
Yep.
Going to building a good team right off the rip with all those young guys. The fact that the Arizona Coyotes fans sat through another rebuild, bad season after bad season after bad season, getting dead contracts just to hit the cap floor, getting draft picks out the wazoo, and they are going to see zero of that.
We are a pro Arizona Coyotes podcast.
Hey,
pro players of that team, not the man, not
guys
the
that have
ownership.
the Yotes. The guys that have the Yotes podcast on
PHNX.
No, Coyotes Corner. Those
have
guys
now rebranded, and I believe they are now the Salty Ice Insiders. And I told them that their sign off should be "Stay salty," and I stick by that.
Salty Ice Insiders. That's pretty good.
I know. Good. I'm excited for them. I'm glad they're taking. I know it really sucks, but I am glad they're still able to, stick with it. And
I know I know the Locked On Coyotes podcast is going to go cover the Utah team as well. Not sure what they're going to call it exactly, but I know on that side of things too that the host is still covering the team. But
on a more positive note, we'd have to, let's circle back to we are a Hurricanes podcast after all. Let's circle back to our beloved Canes. I believe the second C stands for the King Clancy Award. That's what it stands for, because Mr. Jacob Slavin is nominated for the King Clancy Award, and every team nominates one player.
Yep.
And for anyone that is confused as to what the King Clancy Award is, I'm pulling it up so I remember. Coming from Walt Rupp, the award is given annually to the player who best exemplifies leadership qualities on and off the ice and has made significant humanitarian contribution in his community.
Yep.
And Hannah wanted to follow up and say it's much deserved, as Jacob and his wife, when this was announced about a day ago, Jacob and his wife Kylie were hosting a celebration concert in Raleigh after reaching more than 1 million raised in partnership for IGM in the fight against human trafficking.
Yes, and that
Which props to them. That's an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, that's what their fight. That's their fight for freedom. For international.
Their campaign, yeah.
Yeah, for human trafficking. Yep, that is. Yep. So they've raised $1 million for that already. So yeah, I mean.
Also, sorry, I misspoke. IJM, not IGM. IJM, International Justice.
Which when did they launch that campaign pretty late in the season too? Or late-ish.
Before Christmas.
Was it before Christmas? Okay. I don't know why I remember it being later. I was going to say 1 million for that short amount of time is impressive, but even then,
it's still. It's still impressive. A little bit.
Couldn't give it to more deserving guy who's done a lot, and that just shows how great of a human being Jacob Slavin is.
Yeah. Yep. So I love to see that. I believe, and I don't think he's going to win, but I believe Piotr is also in talks.
Calder. Yeah,
I think rated 4th in writer voting.
He is, but he's the fact that they consider it's like his 3rd season. That even Mike said it. He's gonna be held against him. He's not gonna get it. But
everyone loves just the recognition itself.
Oh, 100%. And also, don't forget, Frederick Anderson's also been nominated for the Bill Masterton Trophy Memorial as well. So
there was one more nomination, wasn't there? Or am I?
No, it's just the Calder, King Clancy, and the
okay.
Masterton Trophy. Those are the only ones.
I don't know why I thought Martinook was in cahoots for something, but
no, those are the only ones that we kind of know of right now. Everything else is going to be late.
Those are what we know of right now, and then we do have to talk about, of course, in the last game, which you hate to see, Quickie did go down. Jesper Fast went down with an injury. Don't know what it is as of now. He's not been practicing. He's not on the ice practicing.
He's doubtful for Friday.
Yeah. So we just want to keep him in our thoughts, prayers, all of the above. It's a terrible time to go out. I know they're going to give him the best care possible. I just want him to rest up and feel good.
It's something that this is the reason you rest players when there's nothing left in it. You rest as many guys as possible, but you can't rest everybody. And there are some players that you can't rest who are still important cores to this team. Jesper Fast being one of them. Look at what he did last playoffs. Yeah. He was an important part of us getting through that Islanders series.
Brent Burns played less than 11 minutes in that game against Columbus. That's the first time
he played forever. He played out of one that he loved. He says continual play is actually better for him. Sometimes when he's on those long rests, he actually feels worse coming back on the ice. So the continual play, but also just the respect that he has his Iron Man streak going on. You got to get the man on the ice.
I think it was him, Martinook, and I forget who the third one was. 3 guys hit the 82 game mark this season.
Yeah,
I forget the third one. Jacob Slavin missed it by a game because he sat the last one, and also Seth Jarvis also missed the 82 game mark because he sat in against Columbus as well. But we have to.
But you did get on the broadcast, so it was
that was great. But also too, though, we did see the 7th ever double debuts of 2 guys for the Carolina Hurricanes, and Bradley Nadeau and Jackson Blake. And Bradley Nadeau almost scored a goal. Nadeau almost scored a goal, and that was off of Scott Morrow and Nadeau almost got points together, but unfortunately it was on the line. Didn't go in.
The fact that the new guys are connecting like that already.
Well, here's a crazy stat too. Nadeau played 19 minutes in that game. That was the second most of all forwards.
This kid's going to be a stud.
In his debut.
Kid will be a stud.
When you have the most points and the first guy to hit 40 points and the first guy to get up to 46 for the Maine Bears since 05-06. It's pretty impressive, and the fact that you talk about a guy who's also scored over 100 points in one season in the BCHL for Penticton with his brother. Yeah, I see the guy's pretty good at scoring goals, but and also the fact that Scott Morrow got his debut too. So we had 3 debuts in the span of
a week,
3 games. Yeah, Blues in Columbus.
It was good to see the young guys get a chance Again, I said it went between wanting to win the last game and wanting to have them play. I wish they had done both.
The fact that people actually had legit hockey takes in this game, like, okay, timeout, like almost half the roster is out. It was all young guys.
I look at it like preseason. I look at it like preseason.
Look at it preseason. I love to go out with a win, just that. But
absolutely.
I think the guys had fun. They were able to, experience Rod Brindamore, which is always great. But you gotta, can't get away from that game. You talk about the big talk of the last week or couple games or so was all of the young guys. But let's talk about our top guys as well. With say that. It's weird him saying, those young guys when he's only 22 years old. But Seth Jarvis, he's second on the Canes in goals, second in assists, second in points, second in EVP, first on the Canes in power play goals, second on the Canes in the
game-winning goals.
PPP?
What was it?
PPP?
Power play points.
Second on the Canes and on the Canes in plus minus, and fourth on the Canes.
He's on the Canes.
Fourth on the Canes and Gains in hits.
Okay, I want to say this. I'm glad you said this. Here's the thing: you're talking about a guy who's fourth on the team in hits. 5'10", buck 75, fourth on the team.
I'm going to tell you guys right now too. Seeing him in person, he's 5'10" on a good day. That man is 5'10" on a good day.
Oh my gosh!
Oh God.
Because I saw him at Canes Bash and I wore 2-inch heels, putting me at like a 5'8", maybe 5'9", and that man was very close to me.
Oh my God!
But
God.
So we got to talk about Seth Jarvis, but of course you also have to talk about Sebastian Aho, who finished the season with a plus 34, which is the third best plus minus in franchise history, and of course Brett Pesce,
1 point shy of 90. Gosh.
Brett Pesce is a plus 35, and Jacob Slavin are currently tied for the franchise record.
Would have loved to see him notch 100.
Yeah, missing 3 games. Did have a really slow start to the season. Yeah, he could have gotten it, but it would have been great to see him hit 90. I really wish Seth Jarvis hit 70 because he was 3 points shy of 70. That would have been so great. But you look at it too, the fact that he goes from 17 goals and 40 points in his rookie season, which is his career highs in that. And then you go to 33 goals and 67 points on top of 34 assists. And the thing everyone wants to talk about it is the fact that, he had a sophomore slump. He didn't really have he didn't have a great second season. His 200-foot game, he worked on his defensive game. He's even said it. He wanted to be better in all phases, and that's why you saw Rod Brindamore play him on the PK, on the power play, getting face-offs, putting him in all situations, and that's why you see, wow, I didn't realize Seth Jarvis was good. No, he's been good. He just became a lot – he fine-tuned his 200-foot game, and that's why he had the season the way he did. If you ask anyone right now, if you go back and redraft that 2020 entry draft, he's easily top 3, 100%. Because
this man is out there, and he's learning from the defense of Brent Burns and Jacob Slavin. He's learning the offense from Aho, now Gensel, and he's learning
Andrei Svechnikov. Face-offs from
he's learning and face-offs from Jordan Saul. He's just
and Rod Brindamore is his head coach.
That he's already good at. He's already good at these things. He just wanted to get better, and he has.
You know what though? You know what, Kat? We have to bring this up. To everyone who said to trade him last season, I will be sending you your apology forms in the mail very, very soon for you to fill out because
that man raised a big middle finger and said, "Fuck you" to everybody.
All right, 124.
Hey, I already.
We've all seen the locker room picture. He definitely did. But it was just great, and I love his performance on the ice, his performance on podcast, now the broadcast. This man is everywhere, and like Dan said, and I think we posted our clip of it, our quote of it. Dan said last episode, to be For the NHL to better market itself, every team should find its Seth Jarvis.
Yep.
And the good thing is we don't have to worry about finding one because we already got our Seth Jarvis.
We set the bar.
And the thing too is, I know we're going to go more in depth in this when we get closer to the offseason, but the fact that this dude did it in a contract season because he's an RFA, oh boy, get ready for some discourse of what that contract's going to look like. Are we talking bridge or are we talking long term? And that is going to be fun on how the AAV is going to work out on those deals. And I don't envy Don Waddell because that's going to be a whole lot of tough.
Him and Eric Tulsky have their work cut out for them.
And to all the people who keep asking about, hey, we should go hire Eric Tulsky from Carolina, I'm gonna just give you a little heads up.
Find you
right
an
now.
Eric Tulsky, but not ours.
I'm gonna let you know what's up. Don Waddell's gonna get promoted to somewhere in the higher end of the front office, and Eric Tulsky's gonna take over because if he's the fact of how long he's been around and still doesn't have a job says one thing. Hey Eric, just give us a couple more years. We're gonna slide you into the GM spot since you're the AGM. And we've been told multiple times, Eric Tulsky does a lot of the dealings.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That should say something. I'm just
find you an Eric, just not ours.
Just reading the tea leaves, man. Just saying. Eric Tulsky ain't gonna be yours. He's gonna be ours for a long time. So have fun trying to find that out, Columbus. Hey, I heard Ken Holland might be available soon, so have fun with that.
But anyway, we would be remiss if we didn't finish this episode by giving our predictions for the upcoming matchups of the Canes versus Islanders.
I think we need to talk to our graphics guy about making these pretty sweet looking graphics for our predictions. So.
Oh yeah, I'll get a word into them.
just let him know, all that good stuff.
I would love to say that it'll be like years prior where we swept them. That would be fantastic. Don't know if that'll happen again.
Right.
I kind of doubt it. But my prediction for game one, I believe, is a 3-1. I believe 3-1 us.
Oh, are we doing scores?
No,
I was just going to say who.
I'm sorry. Okay, us.
Say like absolutely.
That's funny.
Not.
You guys ask me other things and you tell me to do all the details. And the one time I do it, you're like, nope, we're not doing the details.
No one said anything about doing scores. Timeout.
Wait, am I going through all the games?
If you want to just say Canes and however many games, we can do that way too. This is just how I set it up.
Oh, the YouTube site's gonna be.
Here, we can do.
Okay, I like that better. Thank you. Because otherwise, I'd be giving you scores.
Oh my goodness!
All right,
I say Canes in 4.
Okay.
Wow.
Little.
Sorry, Canes in 5. Canes in 5. I didn't mean a sweep. Canes in 5. It's late. I literally just said I don't think it's gonna be a sweep, and then I did the math wrong.
If you're not on the YouTube version, please, because you usually just see my reaction. Even I was like,
I didn't even see it.
Yeah, it was just like
I'm just laughing because literally you backtrack, rewind 10 seconds, and I'm saying a sweep's probably not gonna happen, and then I did the math wrong.
Zach, I'm making an inferential guess here.
You're gonna guess what mine is?
No, I'm saying the Canes are coming out of it for you. That's my inference.
I mean, who would I be if I didn't?
Otherwise, off the podcast.
You're kicked off.
The guy who started the podcast goes against the Hurricanes.
Pat, if I'm not next time you're riding this thing solo.
Go work on Locked On.
Damn. Old.
Anyway, Zach, what do you think?
Well, before you goofed and actually picked the right prediction, I was going to say Canes in 5 regardless, because on the crossover that I did with Locked On Islanders with Gil Martin, I said 5 over there too, and I'm sticking with it.
Canes, guys, also on another Canes podcast. Anyway.
I'm sticking with my prediction. It's going to be Canes in 5.
And it seems that I am the cynic of the group.
If you say Islanders, I swear to gosh, this is the only episode you're coming back
the
for.
YouTube version? I've got the Canes coming out of it, obviously. I'm not going to come back to the podcast and completely crap on the team. Come on, man.
Yeah, hey, she comes back for one episode. It's already causing waves.
Oh my god!
All right, what do you think, Bales?
Fancy Duck Boys go after her.
No, because as much as the Canes are coming out of it, I think it's going to be a little harder fought than Canes in 5. We are forgetting that this is a team who does like dropping certain games and live or die situations. So I don't think it's going to fully go to 7 games, but I do think it is going to be dragged on to 6 and we win this on the road.
Oh, so basically what we did last year.
Yep.
I think I've seen this story before.
So
I'm riding with the deja vu, man.
Yeah,
I do think with the Islanders, I think our goaltending will be very important in general. I think our X factor with the Islanders is our scoring now. I think we can run it up on them a little bit, and I think we can pierce through their defense. That tends to make them a more boring team to watch.
We're all about that boring hockey, huh?
It all depends on how Noah Dobson is, because he's still not 100%. Of course, no one's really is 100%, but if he's remotely back to how he should be, then it might be a little bit more difficult because Noah Dobson is pretty good. But a lot of Islanders fans are hoping that Sorokin or Varlamov just catch fire and carry him. Easier said than done with the Islanders because their inconsistency is their Achilles heel. So I can see a point where it's the fact of how the Hurricanes play, with the fact of how back checking, forechecking, any type of checking you can think of, the Hurricanes can do it. It's scoring is going to be the thing. And if I'm the Islanders, the last thing you want to do is give the Hurricanes any type of man advantage, because the Islanders are in the bottom 5 all season in terms of special teams, no matter which side you're talking about. If they're giving the Hurricanes any opportunities, it's game over, especially with Seth Jarvis, who scored 13 power play goals. It's going to be tough for them. So,
also, can we just talk about how nice it is to say we're going to be a threat on the power play?
I would just like to talk about
second on the power play. Second on the power play, first in the penalty kill, man. Only team to do it.
With that said, to accompany it, we, as far as I've seen, for most of the season, were the favorites to win the cup. That has not happened in a while. So how do you guys feel going into this now, knowing that, the Rangers maybe are riding a hot hand, but we've been considered the threat for the entire season. Now we're here.
It feels so nice. It feels so nice.
It
also feels really nice because I remember not so long ago, before we became even more red hot, that we smacked the Rangers 6-0. I remember. When I was a boy. When I was a child.
Back in my day,
when my hair was blonder. I remember. Just kidding. So knowing that, it's really great.
I think
I should not have done that voice. Brad and Ray are going to give me so much grief for the old man.
I mean, there's a certain nickname that I've been banned from calling you. That doesn't stop them. So,
I mean,
anyway,
it's Brad and Ray. What can you do?
Yep.
But regardless, I mean, I think it's going to be. I'm excited for playoffs. I think it's going to be fun. I do believe, in my heart of hearts, that we're going to be out of this first round. Like, we'll be advancing on.
Absolutely.
Round, of course.
Can we also say
there's a deep run to be made here?
Can we just talk about real quick how amazing the content is already fire from the Hurricanes? Social media team with the videos and the graphics.
Dan said, "Watch out for it. It's coming."
Hey, did you get your app updated, Kat? Because that little playoff feature on there, that thing is nice. It is very, very nice. If no one doesn't have it yet or has it updated, do it. It is that playoffs button is very slick and very clean, and it's just absolutely amazing. And like I said, the graphics already fire. Videos are going to be great. I cannot wait for Saturday to see what they drop because it's going to be.
And there's content to be made being the loudest house in the NHL. So
just saying.
So yeah, that pretty much wraps up our thoughts going into playoffs here. We've got a day and a half before the first game. Bailey, by the way, the first game is Saturday at 5 o'clock.
Thank you. My brain is not as
3 o'clock your time.
As we're recording it, that's when it is. When everyone listens to it, it's probably going to be the day of, probably in the morning. So if you're hearing us talk about this, it's Thursday going into Friday. You'll hear this on Saturday, just as an FYI.
Yes, I'm aware now that the game is on Saturday, though. Thank you.
So the game is on Saturday.
If anybody didn't know, it's Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern. So you don't forget like I do.
Hey, Kat, give Bailey a break. She hasn't been here in like 2 months.
I haven't been here in a while. I've got a cold. I feel like crap.
Just letting her know. I'm just making sure the homegirl knows the game is doesn't miss it.
And her Colorado Avalanche are playing some really poo-poo hockey.
No, they won. They won today 5-1. So I'm
anyway. That is it for this episode. Bailey, welcome back. We loved having you on here.
Thank you.
It was like old times.
I know.
Anyway,
where
can people
when I was 2 months younger?
Where can people find you, and where can people find the SurgeCast?
You can find hello, Kat. You can find me on Twitter at baileyycurtis, and that's Bailey with 2 Y's. You can find me on Instagram at baileyycurtis. If you're looking for the SurgeCast, you can find us on all platforms at the SurgeCast. I have not been lately, but I usually run things on the YouTube side. So if you're watching this, hi, hello, how you doing? It's been a while since I've said that. Be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe, hit that big red button, and be sure to leave us your thoughts. What are your thoughts on playoffs, on the Kane series, or any series going on, whether it's East or West? We'd love to hear your thoughts and love to hear your contributions. So be sure to comment down there. And I believe that's it.
Linktree in the bio.
Oh yeah, Linktree in the bio. So be sure to. We're on all listening platforms. We're on all listening platforms. There's Linktrees in all of the bios. Anywhere you find us, whether that's YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter, be sure to go check that out. Not only to find where the podcast is available, but to go follow us as well.
Yeah, Zach, where can you find our wonderful network, and where can they find you? I believe you also write about hockey.
There might be another podcast around here too. I heard that through the grapevine.
I did not miss any of that.
I heard you spell out. I heard you spell out the number 1.
Aren't you glad I'm back, Zach?
I don't get paid enough for this crap.
None of us do.
Yeah, you're making your bag somewhere else anyway.
You can find the network that we're on. Big shout out to them for having us on for the whole season. It's been a lot of fun with the Hockey Podcast Network, hockeypodcastnetwork.com. You can find us there. You can find other podcasts, yada yada yada. You know the drill. If you've been listening to us for as long, you know where to go find all that good stuff. Me, onetruezach on Twitter, Zach R. Martin 22 on Instagram. I do have a link to in both bios of those to where you can find my articles at the Hockey Writers, talking about the Carolina Hurricanes, also the Calder Times doing some AHL stuff, and then where you can listen to the podcast and watch the podcast for SurgeCast and also Locked On Hurricanes. So make sure to go check those out. Kat, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Wix at caniacchic, and you can find me on TikTok at KVTHunter74 after the best defensive defenseman in the NHL. But I mean, maybe he'll have the King Clancy. Anyway,
I wonder what the second C stands for.
Even more. But for now, that wraps up the season 3, episode 39 of the SurgeCast. You got all 3 of us back as we're rolling into playoffs. As for that, I'm Kat. Have a good rest of your day, night, morning, whenever you're listening to us. We'll see you next time.
For playoffs.
Playoff hockey, baby.